Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, you can just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Hey everybody, this is the art part of the show, ART, Attilio's Random Thoughts, and they're anything but random. I thought about it. The purpose of this art part of the show, me bringing things to you that hopefully makes you, if you use them, would make you a better version of you, and that would be appreciated by the people around you, would be the fact that, we're right now, why are we interviewing so many people to come join our team? Why are we ramping that up?
Well, we want to serve more clients.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of, past clients that need our help. We have you listeners, you video listeners, you're calling in, you need our assistance. So we need more awesome team members like us that, can serve our clients.
So we're doing a lot of interviews, and one of the interviews, so this is, stay with me, folks, because you know how it is with this art thing. I go here, and over here, and then I connect all the dots for you, and you'll be like, oh, that's why he's talking about that. So I started talking about why do I like doing this art part of the show, and what am I bringing to you, and what is its purpose, what is its benefit? And it came to me in the fact that we've been doing a lot of interviews. Adrienne, why do we ask people, like, what kind of podcasts, what kind of books do you read? Why do we ask that question?
Well, we ask that question because we want to bring people on our team that already have a growth mindset.
Yes.
And we don't want to have to be like trying to persuade or push people to want to learn and grow. We just want them to already have that desire.
We want them to have the habit versus trying to create the habit, because a lot of the habits and programming and your behavior, that's about 80 to 90% of that is set by the time you're at the age of 19. And then that leads to the second question is, why do I ask this? What does your mom and dad do for a living?
Well, we want to see what has been modeled for them and the kind of examples that, they've seen from their parents and, within their family. Yeah.
Because tell us who your parents are and what they did for a living, and then we're going to see the culture that was around you all of the time in your most formative years for the personality and the traits that you have today. So that leads to what I'm about to share with you today. I was at a Thriftapalooza in Phoenix because I go visit my adult kids, and it's just this big warehouse, and it's I don't know, 80 garage sales all underneath this one house. And that's what it's called. It's called Thriftapalooza. I hope they come to Hawaii. It's a pretty cool venue. And they may, because I go walking, another segue, I go walking with my dad at the swap meet, Aloha swap meet. That has been around since, before me, when I was born. And I know I'm getting old when things that have been around for a long, long time are going away. So I encourage you folks, I think, don't quote me on this, but this June, maybe the last month, that you get to go and participate and experience the Aloha Swap Meet as you see it now underneath the trees and making the big circle going all the way around the stadium.
So they're going to be making some changes soon.
They're going to be moving it to the lower part. I noticed where there's no trees, all the garage sale people, there's not going to be room for them. So it's just going to be all the touristy stuff and 20-foot containers. This is what I'm hearing. So I'm giving you the heads up. If you haven't gone to Aloha Swap Meet in a long time, you might want to go because in its current format and experience, this may be it for the month of June. So get out there, tell them Attilio and Adrienne from Team Lally sent you. So this book I was at the Thriftapalooza and I saw this book for $1. And who's it written by?
Brené Brown.
Dr. Brené Brown, who's been studying human behavior for over 20 years. She's a research psychologist, has one of the top 5 ever viewed TED Talks. Go check it out. And here's what she says about connection. I define connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength for the relationship. She talks about connection begets connection. And back in the day when this was mentioned, originally, connection between human beings, it was all thought like woo-woo stuff and new agey. But they've actually, in the book called Social Intelligence, called The New Science of Human Relationships, Daniel Goleman explores, and what he finds is that we are hardwired for connection and that our relationships shape our biology as well as our experiences. So neuroscience is backing up the woo-woo and the new age stuff that as human beings, the quality of our lives are determined by the connections we have. And I gave you the definition. So something to think about, self-reflection. And I will tell you, the quality of your connections, stop blaming the other people around you. It's not them. It's you. Go look in the mirror and how can you be a better version of whatever that relationship of those people? Mm-hmm. And that's how you improve the connections. Not pointing at all the other people like, oh, wow, my uncle, he's so rude every time he come over to our house. Well, maybe, just project kindness to him and say, uncle. And by the way, when you don't bring it up, you're allowing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of connections, we have a career night coming up where you can connect with us and our team. We're going to have a panel of our team members, and we're going to have it at our new office over in Kapolei.
Yeah.
Laura's going to be, Laura Fleming, our president, is going to be the moderator. And
she's the Batman, and you're coming into the Batcave.
Yes, and we'll have a couple of team members, one that's in the admin role and the other one that's in sales. And it's going to be a wonderful evening from 6 until 7. You can go to hawaiicareernight.com and sign up there. And we'll look forward to seeing you. It's next month. I think it's July 7th. I think is the date.
So Laura's Batman. You come into the Bat Cave, and then this is a shout out to Leah, our producer, because she likes Comic-Con and this kind of these kind of mentions. But then that would be Adrienne is Harlequin, and then I'm the Joker. Should we dress up? I think we should dress up at our career night. Leah's like, thumbs up. She's like, yeah. And do like a mini Comic-Con career night.
I think you might scare the people with your Joker face.
Okay, then.
Let's not do that.
All right.
But yeah, so career night, hawaiicareernight.com. Yeah. And, if you can't make that, it's okay. You can apply to join our team. Yeah. We are hiring. We've got quite a few people coming in for final stages of that interview. Yeah. But we have room for more.
Yeah.
So join teamlally.com.
Yeah, the goal is about 10 agents. What we're doing is we're bringing people on in groups of 4 because we want to maximize the productivity and efficiency of our coaching and training. And
gamify it. It's fun when you have there's a group of you and you get to, share in those experiences and connections as you're learning and growing together. Yep.
So here's what it looks like, folks. Our goal within the first 30 days of you being a licensed agent on our team is getting you into an escrow or a transaction. And getting you into production first 30 days, not 3 months, not 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Because I hear, how many times do we interview people and they're like, well, I've been told by my friends and people in the industry, it's going to be about 6 months to a year before you see any results. And I'm like, what are you guys doing for a living that you can survive that long without earning some income? So it's within the first 30 days is what we do. And so hawaiicareernight.com.
All right, and we do have some open houses. Actually, we got a lot of open houses this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. So we've got 2 Saturday open houses. Both of these, so one is in Kapolei and the other one is in Honolulu.
Yes.
So we've got on 911105 Namahoe Street, listed at $525,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. It's a corner unit townhome and a motivated seller. So come check that out Saturday from 11 until 2. Yeah. And then the other Saturday open house, Attilio, why don't you...
Where? Show it.
Right here.
All right. Saturday, June 7, 2 to 5. It's going to be 2754 Kuile Street, Unit 1801. This is in Honolulu, 450,000, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 740 square feet. This is a high-rise condo. It's a corner unit in Rainbow Place with city and mountain views, large lanai, new paint, VA assumable loan. Check this out. 3.5% rate with a low gap, which means the gap between the existing mortgage and what you're going to have to come up with so the owner can have some profit. In-unit laundry, covered parking near UH Waikiki, electricity, water, and sewer, including the maintenance.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So, and then now we're going to move on to the Sunday open houses, but this one is actually the deal of the week.
Deal of the week.
On Kikaha Street, number 14. All right, so this one, it's a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 1,500 square foot.
Yeah.
And it's listed at $575,000.
What I like about this one, it has a big front yard and backyard, which you don't have in townhomes. Usually you go from the sidewalk to your front door. This one is, there's
it's like a corner end unit.
Corner end unit.
Lots of
green space.
Yep.
The kids, there's a little hill that goes down to the main drag. The kids can get the cardboard and go slide up and down that hill.
So there's 2 assigned parking stalls. One is covered, one open. And you know what? There's lots of street parking, convenient to shopping, schools, and commuting routes.
And when you need to paina, which means party.
So it is open on Sunday from 11 until 2. This is a short sale.
Yeah, so what a short sale means is that if you're going to buy this unit, you need to be less than 5 feet tall. No, that's not what a short sale is. And it's kind of like a misnomer because it's typically a long process because we need to get the approval from the bank because the property is being sold for less than the full payoff of the mortgage. I will tell you right now, too, heads up for you agents out there. If you want to learn more about short sales, we will be announcing later on. We're going to be teaching. I'll be teaching a class.
It'll be like towards the end of July.
Yep.
We'll be teaching some classes for our fellow agents and even just consumers if you want to learn more.
If you guys want to come in. And it's going to be at, most likely it's going to be at a First Hawaii title office, either in one of their locations, Kapolei. Probably, we'll hit all.
Who knows?
We'll move around the island.
Stand by. We will be doing some classes. So speaking of short sales, we have another short sale that is going to be on open house. And this is the first time it's being shown.
Is there a trend here, folks? You're hearing second short sale that we're talking about. Go ahead.
So this one's in Eva Beach. It's at the Launani Tides neighborhood. It's right behind where Safeway, Ross, City Mill. 775,000. 4 bedrooms, 2.5-bath. 1,300 square foot.
I'm going to tell you consumers out there, people thinking like, oh, short sale. It's not, so the homeowner could be distressed, not distressed. They're going to be stressed all the way around because they're not making any money.
The amount that they owe is more than what the market is at currently.
Yeah, so they're doing a short sale, and what that means is you're just going to be able to sell that property at market value. The bank is okay with it, but they do need to approve it. But just so you know, I want to give you the top 3 things for you as a consumer looking at a short sale that you need to know. Number 1, does the listing agent representing the seller on the short sale know what they're doing? Ask them, how many of these have you closed in the last year? Number 2, does your buyer agent have experience on representing people on the buy side of a short sale? And then lastly, the number 3, I just want to manage your expectation in that it's a really good deal, but I want to manage your expectation. It's not going to be a smoking deal. There is going to be a bargain there because you're buying the property as is, where is, and everything else. But I want to manage your expectation is that the bank is not going to give the property away. They're going to do their due diligence, but they're probably going to want to let it go a little bit better than market because they want to get it off the books.
Yes.
And there you go. As a consumer, everything you need to know.
And they may or may not pay for traditional costs that sellers typically will pay. So just, have that. And here's the other cool thing. We have done some homework for everyone. And we have the agent and client buyer guidelines, and it's all in our MLS listing. So it's like what to expect when you're, getting in a contract on a short sale. And
if you want a copy of that, all you got to do is send an email to info@teamlally.com. That's info@teamlally.com. We're happy to email it to you.
And then before we bring Dan on, I've got one more open house on this one Sunday, 2 to 5 on Baratania Street.
Wow, we're all over the place, all over the island.
I know, 345,000, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 577 square feet. Low-rise condo. This is a grand open house, so it's first time showing. So
low maintenance fees, close to Safeway and new laundromat, City View secure car key option, and option to rent parking stall during non-business hours for added flexibility.
Yes. All right. So, okay. So those are our open houses and a little bit about short sales. Now we have Dan calling in with the Big Island report.
Dan is our person giving us the Big Island update. Dan, what's going on the Big Island?
Well, just listening to the conversation you're having about short sales, and I did so many of them back in the day that when I hear the word short sale, I break out in a cold sweat.
I have a little PTSD.
I start getting the shake.
It's like like waterboarding for realtors. Short sales.
I mean, we would go through this process that was so long for people, you know, waiting for the bank to make a decision and waiting for the seller to prove hardship. And we'd get 3 months into this waiting, and then the seller would pull the ripcord at the 11th hour and file for bankruptcy and throw the whole thing into, into a tizzy.
Are you guys seeing, are you seeing any of those in the MLS right now?
Are you seeing them on Big Island? The short sales. Have they made it to your island?
Have they made it to your island yet?
I have not seen a short sale on this island.
That's good.
And I'm looking all the time. But yes, no, I mean, I think you guys know that the vast majority of people are in a positive equity position. I probably believe it's a very small percentage, but it would be obviously more prevalent in the cities, you know, like Honolulu and Denver and so forth.
Yep. So what else? What else is going on there on the Big Island?
Well, it's a tale of two cities. The first city is called condos, and there's lots of them, and inventory's way up, and leverage is in favor of the buyer. And that's due primarily to the insurance crisis that's gone on for the last 12 months, and the skyrocketing of HOA dues. So if you're in the market for a condo, you've got leverage. Now, the argument would be, well, Dan, why do I want to buy a condo if the HOA dues keep skyrocketing, and there may be no end in sight, and that may be passed along to me? And I say to them, well, first off, by all accounts, we're through the crisis.
The rising part,
we're starting to see a lot. Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of the condominiums starting to lower their interest rates. They're finding options for self-insurance. And I said, but the other thing is that all of this can be cured if you buy right, right? If you buy it right and you get $50,000 off, you get $100,000 off. $100,000 will buy you a lot of HOA dues.
Yes. So it's your time to get a discount in the condo market if the seller is willing to give that discount because of these rising HOA fees.
Yes.
So
for sure.
Okay.
Yep. And then the other city is called lack of inventory single family home.
Yes.
And not surprisingly, the people that sold condos moved into a single family to escape the insurance crisis. That happens somewhat, but the majority of single family homes they're really scarce on the island, and so those are commanding. So
that's more of a seller's market. It's a seller's market with single family homes and a buyer's market with the condos. Yes.
And that's why it's the tale of two cities. It just depends, and I was looking at the stats last month for April, and I talk all the time about the long-term play in Hawaii called appreciation. And it's one of the few areas in the country that you can get really massive appreciation really quickly. And when you look at South Kohala, which is where the majority of my clients are looking in the 6 resorts, you've got single-family homes that appreciated 15% in 12 months. That's a big number. And condos are even up 7%, even though there's discount to be had. So, I tell people the Big Island, parts of Hawaii, these are cities that have this type of appreciation that you can only get in a handful of areas around the country,
Well, Dan, thanks so much for the Big Island update. It's always good to get that insider scoop from the man on the street. You're like we're a reporting team and you're a man on the street, but I'm curious to see over the summer when we call you again what's going to be, how did this progress this summer? But thanks so much.
Yes, thank you, Dan. Excellent update on the Big Island.
Okay, yes,
thank you. Later, guys.
All righty.
Aloha.
All right, next up is our man on the street for property investors. He is he's like a VIP. You go to that club and you want to get in. He's that big bouncer at the front with the velvet ropes, and he's going to let you decide whether he's going to let you in. And what's on the inside of that club? Your property. And the people that want to get in, renters. And Duke is at the front door making sure only the good ones get in. Only the good ones get in so they can get bottle service.
All right. So,
Yeah.
yes, that's Duke Kimhan with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
I'm going to take off on the purchasing side of the rental market.
Yes.
So I get a lot of people that are VA because they are military and they're having to leave the island after their 2-year plus stint in Hawaii.
Yep.
And they call me and they said, hey, we want to rent out our property. And I said, okay, where's your property? And they tell me. And I said, do you have an HOA? And they say, yes. And I said, did you buy with a VA loan? And they say, yes.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I already know that you're going to be negative. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
They said, well, how much? And then we drill down the numbers, right? Because when you put no money down on $1 million property, you're probably going to have a $6,000 mortgage, which covers in their BH. But when you go to rent that, now you can't cover that.
Yeah.
You buy a townhome right now on the west side, it's going to be $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 for a townhome, and then you're going to have anywhere from $500 to $600 HOA fee.
Yeah.
The rent on those units is not $5,000.
Yeah.
It's $3,000, and you have a mortgage and an HOA fee that is a little more than $4,000. That's what I see across the general public of townhomes.
Yeah, we sent
if you buy one of those. Yeah,
I was going to say we just recently sent you a client that we did the numbers and it looked like they were going to be negative $1,400 a month because of
a month.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
correct.
That's a lot of negative.
$16,000 a year, but the reason why they couldn't sell it is because they didn't have a buyer for 5 months, 6 months, and they were paying that mortgage with no income coming in.
Ouch.
Yeah, so that VA ship in Hawaii is good and bad.
You know what, Duke? This is somebody that we met with, and they're looking to sell. And you had given them exactly what you just told us now. I think all the way back in like 2011, you had given them the same advice, is that at that point, and the client was saying, I don't want to say who the client is because they didn't give us permission to talk about it, but we can talk stink about people so long as we don't mention their name.
But we're not talking stink. Like it was a compliment to you, Duke.
It was a compliment to you, Duke, because listen, folks, the advice that Duke is giving you, condos versus single family homes. We are dealing with a client right now where Duke told him. Are you sure you want to buy one condo? Because you should buy one single family home. How do I know that? Because they told us you told them
and he's like, I should have listened to Duke.
So fast forward today, this thing
maintenance fees have gone way up.
Cannot rent, even after owning it for 15 years, cannot rent for more because the maintenance fees are so high.
And they can't sell it because of those maintenance fees.
Yes.
And there'll be the you know what I love when you meet with the couples?
What?
The wife is like more like reality, and the husband's all like, oh, we're gonna sell this thing for, and then the wife is kicking them under the table and totally undermining because they're like, they're trying to like, oh, we're gonna make money on this sale, and then the wife's kicking them under the table, and then they go, come on, let's get real. We'd be lucky if we get what we paid for it out of this thing.
Because the maintenance fees have gone up so much.
Because of the maintenance fees.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I know it's a very different market in the mainland. And when people come to Hawaii, they don't ask the right questions, right? How long are you going to keep it? What do you want to do with it when you're done? How much money do you want to put down? And how much money do you want to pay every month?
Yeah.
And can this thing rent out to cover my expenses when I leave the island?
So this is a real life example of the advice you gave somebody 14 years ago.
And they didn't listen.
Yeah, probably when I was first getting started.
Yeah.
And I still don't
they're kicking themselves
as a client if they don't want to be a client. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just tell them straight out, listen, you probably want to sell this. And I'm there to get the property management contract.
Yeah.
And I just tell them you probably should sell this instead of being negative $25,000 a year. For 2 years, and that's going to make up $50,000 in equity.
And I would say that says a lot about you, Duke, because you don't make any money when they go to sell it. You're just telling them the right thing to do because you don't want to see them in a financially distressed situation.
And fast forward
but,
today. Go ahead, Duke.
Being negative $25,000 a year does not count any vacancy or any repairs on the units.
Yeah.
So, that's just terrible that they're in that situation.
And
I wish I could give them better advice.
Well, you did. Though that wasn't the challenge. They didn't take it and listen to it and act upon it. So what is funny when you were saying that, because we met with them, and like people were thinking, oh, you're just making that up. You're saying this because of maybe in the last couple of years. No, I have a factual situation where you gave somebody that advice 14 years ago.
Yes.
And now
he's been saying it all along.
Yeah. So anyway, good job on that, Duke.
Thank you, Duke.
It's like, our clients are like our kids. You give them the advice, but it's up to them whether they're going to act upon it.
Yeah.
So.
If you need to see any of our products, go to our website, www.hipacificpm for propertymanagement.com.
All right.
Thank you, Duke.
Thank you, Duke.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So again, that's Duke Kimhan of Hawaii Pacific Property Management. He is an expert we trust. You can find him under the resource tab on teamlally.com. So I'm going to read a review, and then I think we got to go on to our break.
Yep.
So this is from Roxanne Carino. She said, Team Lally demonstrated excellent organization, communication, and support throughout the entire process. Mr. Howard, my agent, helped me with every decision I've made, which led to a successful purchase. Good job, Howard.
Hey, and before we go on that break, I want to give you the deal of the week, and then you'll take us out there on that break. But it's in Wahiawa. It's 1016 Eho Avenue. It's apartment 208. If you're in the area, go there, because we have some listing data facts and everything, literally with blue painter's tape taped to the door. Go grab one if you want. But this the list price on this thing is
$299,000
for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The maintenance fees are under $500. You got a assigned parking stall. It does have a laundromat. A lot of green spaces for the kids in Wahiawa. Right, the kids could probably walk to one of of 2 elementary schools that are within range.
Yep.
And you're like minutes away from the North Shore and town and out there in Schofield, Wheeler, and stuff like that. Only $299,000. Here's the deal. It does need some little bit of work because we had a tenant in there and it rents really easy. But if I got to go in there and if we have to go in there and rehab it, then the price goes up.
That's right.
So before I do that, you might want to take a look at it or give us a call for $299,000, 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Wahiawa. Wahiawa deal of the week.
With reasonable maintenance fees.
Yes.
All right. We are going to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Alesia Borja of Team Lally's top producing agent. She's going to share how mindset and daily actions drive success, along with highlights from her journey on the team.
So stay with us.
Decades 107.9 playing the greatest music ever made. It's Mornings with Augie. Hey, you know someone that moved to the mainland but left the rental property behind? So Amber wanted to create a new investment opportunities on the mainland, but she had to sell her island rental first. So she reached out to our good friends Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Handling the business virtually with Amber, Adrienne and Attilio came prepared with multiple 5-star selling strategies, including adjusting Amber's selling price expectations, and the home sold in days. If you're in a market to sell your home and you want a team that will make you the most money with the least amount of drama, you can trust our good friends Adrienne and Attilio of Team Lally. Give them a call today, 808-799-9596. That's 808-799-9596. They're trusted. You see these signs all over in my community. Visit teamlally.com today. That's teamlally.com today.
In today's fast-changing real estate market, you need access to the right information to make smart choices. I invest in real estate all over the country, and I rely on smart agents who know their local market inside and out. In Honolulu, I work with Adrienne Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Adrienne, Attilio, and their team sell a home every 72 hours and have over 750 5-star reviews. Go to teamlally.com and find out in just seconds what your home is really worth.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrienne.
And I'm still Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Well, hey, everybody. We want to welcome one of our business partners, listing partners, agent, all-around good Christian, awesome woman. Somebody that we admire, been with our team for a long time. Her name is Alesia Borja. Welcome, Alesia Borja.
And I just want to read some of the intro because we do have some accolades to go over before we get into it with Alesia.
Hold on, Alesia. Hold on.
All right, so she got her license back in 2003 and is licensed in both California and Hawaii. And since 2000, and just has a wealth of knowledge and dedication to her clients. We always get raving reviews from everyone that comes, into contact with Alesia.
Known for her commitment to excellence, she focuses on clear communication, expert advice, and delivering outstanding results. Her passion lies in building lasting relationships and being a trusted advisor throughout her clients' real estate journeys. Please welcome our guest, Alesia.
Yes, Alesia. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so you got my heart from the introduction and then the one that was on the piece of paper.
Well, thank you so very much. It's great to connect with you guys both today.
Yeah. So, Alesia, tell us, okay, you know what? People are always interested about people's journeys. Tell us about, Alesia, tell us about your journey. I'm curious, Alesia, remind us again. Now, how did you end up in Hawaii? Let's start with that one.
Well, I got here. My children, I have adult children, obviously, and they said one day, "Hey, Mom, we're moving to Hawaii." And my first thought was, "Oh my gosh, I can't be alone. Not yet. I'm not ready."
Yeah.
So, my dad always shared that living in Hawaii was one of the best things he ever experienced in his life. And if he encouraged me to follow my kids, and I said, "Okay, I'm gone."
Nice.
And that's how I really got here.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. You're a good mom, and you're not one of those helicopter moms too, because you let them fail and fall forward, and you're here to support them. So that's what I've always known about you as a mom. But Adrienne, that other question.
And then so you were licensed in California before coming to Hawaii.
Yeah.
What made you decide to want to get into the real estate industry to begin with?
Yeah.
Well, I was always attracted to real estate. I think growing up, my parents bought and sold a few properties, and my eyes were always fixed on the agent. He came in with a big folder, and it was a lot of paperwork, and I thought, oh my gosh, I would love to do that.
Sure.
Well, the opportunity didn't happen right away, but it did at some point, and that first thought was, hey, I want to do this. I want to help people. I want to sell homes. I want to do this lifestyle. And I did. It didn't happen overnight, but I do remember, as I think back to where I am today, it was always meant for me to work with people, and especially in the area of real estate.
Yeah. That's it. I'll tell you, folks, that says a lot about Alesia and her attention to detail and professionalism. Because when she said, I saw when the realtor came with this big, fat, I thought she was going to say Cadillac Escalade. I didn't think you were going to say a big fat folder full of paperwork. Like for us, the rest of us mortals would be like, that's a lot of paperwork.
She's excited by the paperwork.
I'm telling you, that's true. She is not making it up for this radio show. I've seen Alesia everything is just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. In fact...
Well, that's what she did first on the team with us, was the dotting the I's and the T's and the paperwork.
Transaction coordinator.
That was her specialty. Yeah. That was just her jam for many years.
For many years and stuff like that. But,
and I actually loved serving in that particular role in the beginning.
Yes.
And, of course, it felt like it was time to move to the next level and really dive into the deep for me.
Yeah.
And but I'm really grateful that door was open when we first met, and there it was. It was just that opportunity. But it gave me an opportunity in a different way. California and Hawaii are two different states. They function differently.
Yes.
And I came with knowledge, but I obtained a greater knowledge sitting under you and both you and Adrienne that made a difference. And basically that did make a change in my real estate career to this day.
Yeah, I would say that You know, back in the day, Michael Jordan, they had the phrase, "I want to be like Mike."
Yes.
On our team, everybody says, "I want to be like Alesia." And I hear people like, Chelsea was on our team, my niece, and she's like, "Man, I watch Alesia and what she does, and I'm just fully amazed." And
she just wants to copy everything Alesia does.
She just wants to copy everything Alesia does. So, you know, pull the curtain back and talk about what do you, because I'm going to ask you different questions, and these are questions there's not any crazy questions or answers that you don't know, because these are discussions you're having every day with clients. And but you know, if you could give any piece of advice to somebody that's like, hey, I came from career night, I'm going to go to a real estate school in the beginning of your career, because now fast forward, you're operating at such a high level, have a lot of success in real estate. What would be the piece of wisdom that you want to pass on to somebody in the beginning of their real estate career?
I would say for anyone who is thinking about real estate and thinks, it's cool, it's great, I could do it. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can do it, but success is not owned. It's rented on a daily basis. It's due every day. And it's due the way I show up, the way I focus, what I set out to do every morning, how I command my mornings. And that's really what it's all about. It's mindset. If you're going to stay in the dumps, you're not going to see yourself successful. But if you drive through and make those hard choices every day, that's how I feel about it. I got to make it. I got to do it. I'm going to do it. And so I rise, I fight, and I win.
Yeah, I like what you said, because I tell it everybody. You know,
it sounds like a little bit like habits that she's talking about.
It's
these habits.
Here are the two big nuggets I heard from Alesia: habits and mindset. And mindset's important because you got to, like you said, from the beginning, you got to have this belief that you're going to be highly successful at it, and truly believe that. And then the habits is like, you know, we know for a fact that every day you're doing your dials, you're staying in touch with your clients, and doing everything. Alesia, let me ask you, do you do these things whether you feel like it or not?
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. I could be in the dumps, and you know, I have had moments like that, and
we all have.
I still move forward.
Still move
That's
forward.
It. There's I can't sit there. I can't live in doubt, and I can't live in fear. I can't live in failure. If I do, then I'm not paying, and I won't see my success.
So Alesia, what is your favorite part of, being an agent? And then also, what's your least favorite part? Give us the both ends of the coin.
My favorite part of being an agent is being able to successfully communicate to someone and see them win, to see their priorities met, to close the deal. We have great escrows and we have tough escrows, and
everything in between.
Oh my gosh, everything. But what I love about it is that recently I actually had one where I felt very fulfilled to see it close. Because there were challenges, and it's just life. Life happens. Things happen in the process. It's not anything but life. We're dealing with life issues in the process of selling real estate. And making that call when we closed that morning was very fulfilling to me. It was. There was the thank you, the gratefulness, oh my gosh, I can't believe we did it.
And you got it done. And Alesia, without mentioning the city or the street or the people, talk about, because just like, they're like, it's like and those challenging ones, they're glad it's done and they don't ever want to be talking about it again. So don't mention the street, don't mention the city or the names of the people, but in general, what were some of the challenges through that process so people can see this is real life real estate 101?
Well, the real challenges were it wasn't just the seller, but there was a family involved. And there were some inabilities or challenges that the seller couldn't meet, or challenges that made it overwhelming for him to move forward. And I can tell you that even at his challenges, my thought was, okay, we've got to work around it. We've got to work around this and get him through. We won't close. And, you know, there was just moments where I would pause. Sometimes I would reach out and say,
Yes.
hey, I've got this challenge.
Yes.
But in this one, it wasn't a matter of, you know, something wrong with the real estate. It was life issues.
People.
And we just, we had to work it through.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's no quick fixes. You've got to work it one step at a time, one day at a time through the process. And that to me was very rewarding, really rewarding. In fact, they are shopping for some land on another island and very grateful.
Nice.
And I'm grateful to be able to help them.
Yeah. I think that was a very challenging part of their life because we know we're both talking about the same thing. We're just not mentioning specifics, but we know that what I liked about it is, and you know, I had conversations and was talking with Shane, our transaction coordinator on this, so I know I got a front row seat of the challenges that you were dealing with and handling. What I noticed, never did you, in all the conversations we had about it, or, you know, or my observation about it, never once was your mindset like, well, I guess this isn't working out.
Yeah.
It was always like, we're going to get this done.
Yep. Like this problem solver mode.
And what people need to understand with Alesia's mindset, I'm talking about you like third person, like you're not even here, is that my observation of Alesia is that the mindset is we're going to get it done. And we may not necessarily have the solution in front of us, but the solution starts with the mindset.
That's right.
With the mindset.
Absolutely.
So,
yes, absolutely.
And I think part of that mindset, and I just want to like go back to that, the growth mindset, is that Alesia has done a lot of personal development training. And let's talk a little bit about the PSI training that you've done to help develop yourself on the personal side to create that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, PSI, gosh, that was an eye-opener inwardly.
Yes.
And I'll share, in the beginning, it was, what is this?
Yes.
What am I doing?
What are my crazy team leaders make me go to?
What am I saying yes to? But reality is that it was a doorway, a step up, a pathway, and a journey through my life, dealing with things from the past that helped me progress now. And, you know, I still I'm really grateful for that, but I still work on myself. I have not arrived. Yeah. I still work on my self-improvement. I still, you know, read books and attend classes that help me get to where I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, so for people listening, they're like, what is this PSI? It doesn't mean pound per square inch or anything like, you know, something, the thing that you see on the tires.
Personal Success Institute.
Yeah. So, in fact, in the month of July, they're coming up with the Friday, Saturday, Sunday class.
That's the basic.
That's called
3
PSI
days.
Basic. Yep. And then the next progression of that is size 7, where I think, 7 days?
Yeah, 7 days.
Size 7. And Life Success course. And then after that is Women's Leadership or Men's Leadership.
And Alesia has done all of them.
All of them.
And is continuing on with working on herself even after the training.
And Alesia, you staff too, right?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And so those are that is part of our culture, and the reason we were easily motivated to invest in Alesia, to send her to those things, is that she was somebody that is highly valued in our lives, personally and business wise, and we wanted to have her go through that growth. And I like what you said. The best thing that you said out of all of that, Alesia, is you're still working on you, which we all are.
Every day.
Which we all are.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes,
you don't go to that class and then boom, that's it. No more work to be done. No.
No, I'm done. I'm finished.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm tested every day.
Yes.
That's right.
Tested every day.
All right. So tactical questions. We're at 30,000 feet talking about this and your journey and the mindset and all of that, and people want to hear tactical things. In this market today, because you're working with quite a few sellers, and we're having some great conversations, some neutral conversations, and some challenging conversations. In today's market for our sellers, what would be your advice to them in today's market, the way that it's with what you're seeing?
You know what? It's a tough market, but it's also a great market.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we hear and what we're experiencing, it's just being creative about how we're going to sell a property, what we're going to do to make it happen. Mm-hmm. So, there's, again, real estate is real estate, but lives are individual, and we experience that on every transaction. So, in a situation where things have to change for them, we have to be creative to get a home sold. So I'm not a one-set mind. I'm very open when it comes to a family or an individual that's looking about selling, and we look at the strategies, that we look at the area, we look at the home. There are things that we'll do to make it happen.
Yeah. And more specifically, the tactical things is that we walk through the property.
Absolutely.
With the properties that you're walking through, like for Adrienne and I, it's always about like, we want to do things that don't cost you money, which is declutter and clean. But when you do your walkthroughs, what are you finding is something like...
that's an easy fix.
That's
to get
an
a
easy
good,
fix
like
for
a
sellers
good return
to do.
on investment.
Yeah, and you can mention those things and go into detail.
Lived in homes, that sometimes there's a lot. There's a lot of personal items. I think it's being very transparent with our sellers about preparing the home for the market.
Yeah.
So if we need to declutter or we need to get things out so that we can properly market that home and showcase it well, those are things that we will address because it's important. Today's market, we have... things have changed, and we don't have. It's not a seller's market reality. It's true. It's not. Yeah. But we've got to adjust and ride through it. We've got to make the changes so that we can help those sellers get their home sold. So making those changes that are necessary. We always advise and recommend, but it is the seller that decides which way they want to go.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important too. I'm not in there to tell a seller what to do, but I'll recommend for the market, recommend for their area and their home to make sure that it stands out above the rest. That's what I'm going to do. And then allow them to make that choice. Yeah.
And I think it's important to know too that the advice you're giving to them is because you've worked with buyers too. You know what's a priority for buyers. And a lot of it does not match up with the reality shows that you see out there. They're thinking this and that and all of that. And we're like, no, that has nothing to do with the reality. Reality shows have nothing to do with the reality of actually selling a home in today's market. What we're finding is that we're having to have really do a deep dives on the price of their properties, because we're finding that in some areas when we do the research, and you tell me what you're finding, but we're finding where, like, if it's in an area where there's a lot of comparable homes, like Ocean Point, for example, where you can find a lot of similar homes, similar upgrades, that what the home is sold for 6 months ago that was very close to theirs is not what it's selling for today, even 6 months later. So how are you, what's that conversation look like with those kind of sellers?
It's being as transparent as possible when it comes to the market. I think, too, is taking the data, not just telling the story, but I am showing the data that supports price. Yeah. And then the other thing is that we are in a changing market. It changes from day to day. We see homes come on the market and sit and tick away with days. Yeah. There's no change, and then reality is that we've got to change. It has to happen. We have to be on point when it comes to price and watching what's closed and making sure that the home is a comparable to what is closed and it's not overpriced, or we're competing with what's active. The reality is that we've got to make sure that it makes sense and that we can get that home sold.
Adrienne's got a question for you.
Yep. So Alesia, this is excellent advice for any home sellers. And we are going to be wrapping the show up here in a few minutes. But if you had any additional advice that you want to give out to the agents out there or sellers.
How about this? One nugget for each. Yes. This is a 2-nugget McDonald's drive-thru special.
One nugget for the sellers and one nugget for the agents.
Both with barbecue sauce. Go ahead.
I would say to a seller who is thinking about selling their home, reaching us and really taking an evaluation of what their home could be possibly worth, or what would they need to do. I think it's super important. You just don't decide to sell your home. Life is changing.
Yeah.
But what will it take to sell my home would be the question that you would want to, I would leave is like, you know what, that's what you really want to know is what's it going to take? What do I need to do in this market?
And you make it easy for them because you go visit them, you know, you bring them into the office, then go visit the home. So it's not like they got to figure it out. You're going to help them.
You come up with the plan.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then as far as an agent is concerned, I would say that there are 4 things. Be positive.
Yeah.
In this market, in your life, stay positive.
Yes.
Have the I do, I am, I have mentality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Be powerful. Make sure you make your steps.
Yes.
Be purposeful. Be present.
I like
in what
that.
you do every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
That sounds like your
Every
mantra.
day.
That's the Alesia mantra.
I love it. I love it. No matter what. It is. I am positive. I am powerful. I am purposeful. And I am present.
Yes. And we know that from our observation, we can validate that and support that 100%. So here's my recommendation for you agents out there. Feel free to come to any of our career nights, and we're going to share with you, sometimes Alesia's out there and sometimes not, but I'm sure you're always a phone call away if somebody wanted a question. And for you sellers out there, I only have one piece of advice. Give us a call and say, I want to meet with Alesia.
There you go.
That's it.
Thank you.
Call us, call our phone number, 799-9596, and say, I'm thinking about selling my home. I just heard Alesia on the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Can I book an appointment with her if she's not too busy? Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Alesia.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. By the way, don't take our word for it that Alesia's really good at her job. If you take it, we've got over 700 5-star reviews on our Google page, Google review, handled by Google. And if you look in there,
there's a lot for Alesia.
Name by name.
Her clients love her.
Yeah, her clients love her.
And her team members love her.
Yep.
The cooperating agents that are on the other side, they all, everyone enjoys having that experience with Alesia.
So, by the way, go to our teamlally.com. You can look at click on our members page, and you can see her little bio and get her contact information. But again, I highly recommend if you need a highly professional full-time agent that's going to get the job done, and you like what you heard on the show, give us a call and say, I want Alesia. I want to sit down with Alesia for a very. It's just a consultation. 15-minute conversation.
Yes.
Maybe an hour in the office, come visit the home, and that's it. We make it easy. We don't force you, put you in a headlock to do business with her. She is going to wow you, and that's why you'll want to list your home with her.
And then she has the power of the team behind her.
Yes.
But, she's in the forefront, and, we're all there behind her, supporting her.
Yes.
Just to provide that amazing experience.
When you list your home with us, you get 3 agents for the price of 1. You get Adrienne, Attilio, and Alesia.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley with Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Robinson Fine Line Paintworks.
Ampy with Estate Planning Group.
Jason Wu, Attorney at Law.
Rhino with Hawaii Unified.
Janice of Dreamhouse Drafting.
Fabio with Hawaii Water Damage Restoration.
Kyle with Impact Wealth.
Brian with Cleanscapes LLC.
Benji with Hawaii Referral Agent.
Danny Langerman with DHA Financial LLC. If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
Chee-hoo, and
Sheen behind the scenes.
Our videographer.
Yes, make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life.
Forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price in our time frame, we'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.